I'm looking at the world through rose-colored glasses. I'm looking at the world with stars in my eyes. My agent rang me up and said, I've just turned down a film for you. I think it's a sex film. So I said, why would they be getting in touch with me? And he said, I don't know, but I saw the website and it said 6 entertainment films for entertainment for adults, and it's in Amsterdam. So I was still kind of bewildered what it was, and then so I asked him what was the title of the film, and he said The Human Centipede 2. And because I'd read reviews of Human Centipede, the first film, which was still on the festival circuit at that time, I sort of told him to get back in touch with the whoever had been in touch, and to say yes, I'd be interested in in an audition. So yeah, it was as simple as that. And then I auditioned, and we got on like a house on fire. So it was great. Yeah, pretty much. I mean, Tom wanted to see if I could enact certain parts of the film, and I enacted certain parts of the film, and that was it. I mean, Tom did say he didn't want Martin to talk a lot, and then in the audition I kind of forgot to say anything. And then he kind of liked that. So then in the film, the final film, we don't see Martin talk on screen, as it were. There's references to him having discussions off screen, but yeah. So Martin's mute on screen. I mean, it was like a normal low budget film. It's, everything's, money's tight, and everyone's a bit kind of doing 2 or 3 jobs at once. But other than that, it was fine. I probably had a better deal of it than the guys in the Centipede who were all on their knees and hands and knees. So yeah, for me it was a normal shoot. Initially, it was. Initially, people sort of recognised me at film festivals and conventions, and they'd walk past and go, and scurry past. And then sometimes people would come up to me and say, "Oh, I was too afraid to speak to you, but you seem like a normal person." And it's like, well, yeah, but there we go. So, and then, I mean, a lot of when people recognised me in the street, it was mainly after it started getting shown on, I think it was on Netflix originally, and then, an edited version was on Netflix. And then it's been on the Horror Channel in the UK, which is on Freeview, so it's a free channel. So yeah, every time it's on the Horror Channel, someone will recognise me the following day. So yeah. The violence that they intend to inflict in real life is far more dangerous than the violence in a film or a play or piece of music or whatever, So yeah, I think it's worrying, but hopefully they're just keyboard warriors and not.
lot of commentaries, but I was asking myself, but if you don't like this type of movies, why do you watch?
Why do you watch? Yeah.
You there in my commentaries? That's so strange. But...
I mean, you know, there's different types of horror. There's horror that's there to engage the kind of tension, the psychological horror, and there's gore. You know, and this is a little bit psychology, but a lot of mainly kind of gore and kind of gross out. I mean, it is a black comedy, a gross out comedy. You know, but yeah. Yes, yeah. Well, no, I'm a fan of extreme cinema generally. You know, I mean, whether that's kind of Bela Tarr or whether it's, you know, Peter Jackson's early work like Brain Dead, or whether it's something like Marianne Lachance. No, it's not true. He is just a very naughty boy. No, I mean, he's a big kid with a sense of humour that is, you know, I mean, it's there to push people's buttons. It's there to sort of, there's a kind of trickster element about him. So, yeah, I mean, he is a big kid, but it's a necessary job that he does, I think, you know. I mean, I think he's got a public persona that's very much a showman. You know, he's there to sort of promote himself and the films, and I think people confuse that with the actual person. So initially I was offered it quite early on after doing Human Centipede 2, and it was Tom approached with the idea of me and Dieter as a kind of Laurel and Hardy of horror. So yes, I couldn't resist. So, and also, you know, I mean, Dieter's performance in Human Centipede, the first film, was so tremendous that it kind of galvanised me to deliver something equally as powerful, or hopefully, in part 2. And the idea of us being together was exciting for me. Tremendous actor, very much a kind of theatre actor. A lot of his, I mean, he gets criticised a lot for his the role he played in Human Centipede 3, but if you look at it, a lot of it, what he's doing sort of comes from kind of art theatre. You know, there's a lot of Artaud, there's a lot of kind of Meyerhold and so on, in the way that he moves and that. So, you know, I think people I think ordinary cinema audiences kind of underestimate what a great actor he was. So, yeah. Well, I mean, during part 2, obviously, you know, it's very bloody and people were getting blood all over them and stuff, and then you'd go outside to get a breath of fresh air, and obviously there's people going past in the street, and so we all decided to say that we were shooting a health and safety film. So that was our get out, you know, because we couldn't say that we were filming the Human Centipede 2, so it was a health and safety film, and it still is, I think. And then during the scene in Human Centipede 2 where I chase after the prostitute in the stairwell, and she's screaming when we were filming that. Somebody burst through the door with his fist raised, ready to have a go, which I think is good for him. I think people, you know, it's good knowing there's people like that out there that are willing to step in when they hear somebody in distress. But we did have to calm him down and say, sorry, we're just shooting a film. So it's all right. Well, it's been a bit of both. Obviously, it's sort of led me to coming to film festivals and conventions like this, and has given me a career in low budget horror. So, but I used to do commercials beforehand, and that kind of dried up as soon as I did Human Centipede 2. And I mean, it's led to doing other things, like I recorded an album with a local band based on 2 stories from H.P. Lovecraft, and then that led to my career doing recordings for Cadabra Records in America. So it's been a bit of both, but mainly positive. Cadabra Records, I've recorded a number of stories by Edogawa Rampo, who's fantastic, and Ryosuke Kitagawa, who did Rashomon, and the story that the film Rashomon was based on was called Inner Grove, and I've recorded that for Cadabra. So, yeah. But I also like French authors. I mean, the first thing I did with Cadabra was Roland Tupor, and I'm hoping. I really like Marcel Ame, Le Passe-Muraille. But maybe that's too whimsical for Cadabra. But I enjoy his writing too. So. Well, the craziest one, I think, just because it's been going on for a while, and I'm just in like 1 or 2 scenes, but it's this guy called Tony Marden who's who's still doing a film called Witches of the Sands, and he just seems to incorporate everyone he knows and shoots all these various scenes, none of which seem related to each other, but it's all it's kind of like an 8.5 it's like redoing Fellini for a horror film director, and it's all his dreams and images and nightmares and stresses about filmmaking and so on. So all these very disparate scenes seem quite mad and weird, but they all sort of tie together, apparently. I haven't seen, the film isn't finished yet, so hopefully we will see. Yeah, it was, I was offered that role, and it was like a 60s set in LA kind of thing, but it's basically it didn't happen because it was locked. It was just, we'd sort of agreed to do it just before COVID hit, and then we were meant to be filming it that summer, and then obviously it's COVID sort of decimated that. So I don't know whether that's going to be revived or not, or whether they're shooting with somebody locally. I don't know, but yeah, it would be great to do that. But COVID's been a bummer. The only thing, luckily I've managed to do 2 small projects. One which is a short, which will be shown later on today, which is a kind of Batman fan film in which I play the Penguin. Yes, Oswald Cobblepot. And there's a film by Sam Ashurst, which was all filmed on people's phones, and it was a follow-up to his film A Little More Flesh. So, yeah. Bottom burp. I don't know.
Thank you very much for the time.
Thank you.